Välkomna tillbaka! Då är det dags för nästa bolag, vilket är Hydrogen Pro. And we're going to switch to English for this one, because we have a presenter flying in all the way from Norway. Martin Tanem Holtet, you are the Chief Financial Officer of Hydrogen Pro, right?
Correct.
Yes, all right. Well, take it away and I'll be back for the Q&A session afterwards.
Okay, great. And thanks a lot for inviting us to present here today. So to kick it off, what is hydrogen? 75% of the mass in the universe is made up of hydrogen. So it's the most abundant element there is. And it's crucial for a wide range of use cases. But the problem with hydrogen is that you cannot just easily extract it. And today, almost all hydrogen is produced with fossil fuels, meaning with natural gas. And this emits a lot of CO2. We need to do something about that now. And our solution is electrolyzers, which produce renewable or green hydrogen at scale. We are a global provider, and we have a presence in several continents. So why large scale and pressurized? So firstly, we want to reduce the cost of hydrogen and ensure economies of scale. Our technology is well suited for renewable energy production, and it reduces operating and capital expenditures with our pressurized solution. The largest cost to our customers of producing green hydrogen is the electricity bill. And here we have an advanced electrode technology that brings down the energy consumption. And lastly, we have no noble metals in our stacks, and including also our electrodes. So Hydrogen Pro, we are serving industrial applications and hard-to-abate sectors. So we are a focused company where we deliver electrolyzers with advanced electrode technology and a gas separation skid. We are then addressing segments that are hard to abate, where direct electrification is not possible. And we're now delivering to the large ACES hub in Utah, a 220 megawatt plant, where the purpose of that hydrogen is to balance the grid and power to gas. While we also deliver a large project in Germany for decarbonizing steel production in 100 megawatt project called the SALCOS project. Hydrogen Pro has transformed dramatically during the last few years. So we were founded back in 2013. I joined the company just after we were listed some 4 years ago. Then I was employee number 11. So yes, we started back up in 2013, a small environment in Norway with long history and experience from the electrolyzer industry. Then we did the IPO in October 2020. We acquired the company Advanced Surface Plating, which is now rebranded to Hydrogen Pro Denmark with advanced electrode technology. That was closed in early 2021. We were awarded the large ACES order in February 2022. And then we were awarded the large SALCOS order in November 2023. That are some of the highlights of the company. And not the least, we have also then built a manufacturing site in Tianjin, China as well, where we are a 75% owner. So, as you can see on the map, we have our head offices in Norway, in Porsgrunn, and an administration office just outside of Oslo. We have our R&D hub in Denmark with our production line of the electrode technology. We have the manufacturing site in Tianjin, China, And we have sales offices in Duisburg, Germany, and in Minneapolis in the US. We deliver 2 of the 10 largest projects outside of China on a global context. These will then come online now in 2025. It's the ACES project in Utah, and it's the Salzgitter project now in Salzgitter or Salzgitter in Germany. And I think there are not many OEM players on this graph, so we are among the few that are now actually delivering large-scale projects, which will come online very soon. And as you can see on this, call it illustration, up to the far right, we are placed then among a few other players, being one of the leaders in this industry. I think in totality there are, as stated here, somewhere between 150 to 200 companies, while we are then among, say, 5 to 8 of the larger players that actually have delivered real projects. And we start to see that now also being, call it enabling us to get access to larger customers, and that is very helpful, of course, for us to increase the success rate to be awarded projects going forward. So yes, we have delivered are delivering 2 of the 10 largest projects globally. And on top of that, last week we announced with Andritz that Andritz has been now awarded an engineering study for a 100 megawatt project in Rostock, Germany. The final investment decision is planned for by mid of 2025, and subject to that, the plan is that Andritz will then be given a notice to proceed, and HydrogenPro will then be given the order for supplying our high-pressure alkaline solutions. The hydrogen for this project will be used to connect to the pipeline called the Hydrogen Core Network that will transport hydrogen to other countries in the European region. So the day before Christmas, on the 23rd of December last year, we announced an equity raise of a totality of 140 million kroner. Our existing shareholders, Mitsubishi and Andritz, invested 70 million, while the remaining 70 million is to come from LONGi. That investment is still conditional upon an approval by Chinese authorities, but we expect that now to happen in the second quarter. So with this, we have now 3 large international industrial players backing the company. So we have had a dramatic shift from where we were, say 2-3 years back, when we were sort of mainly owned by private individual owners. These 3 in total will own some 42% of the company. So you might then ask, why are these companies investing now with, call it, the more, call it, lackluster development in the share price? I think they see now a future market where hydrogen will play a large role, and they believe in our technology, and not the least, they believe in our business model and in the company. So these partnerships then enable what we call a delivery power on large-scale projects globally. Because what we see is that a large hydrogen project is quite complex, and it involves a lot of different components outside of what HydrogenPro brings to the table. So we deliver what we call sort of core electrolyzer systems and technology, including stack and gas separator skid and our advanced electrodes, while we also then need balance of plant and EPC as well. So we see that we get a lot of support, and not the least that they have the delivery power our partners have the capabilities and the delivery power to meet then the end users criteria. And we see it now being very beneficial through the ACES order. We got that through Mitsubishi. We get the main projects in Europe with Andritz. We are now in cooperation talks with LONGi with regards to supply chain and manufacturing mainly. And not the least, we are also working with JHK for small and medium-sized projects in Europe, because we also see now an increasing appetite for projects at that size as well. China. China is in a leading position in the energy transition. Last year, China invested more in the renewable space than the US and Europe combined. And if you look at sort of the total spending in the renewable energy compared to oil and gas, it far outweighed. So today the spending is far higher now in the renewable space. This benefits the green hydrogen industry because it brings down the electricity cost. We see now much more competitive pricing on electricity from either solar, wind or hydro. So with then China taking a leading position in the energy transition, which involves a lot of clean technology, or what you can call the fourth industrial revolution. We acknowledge that, HydrogenPro acknowledge that, and we want to partner up with the best in the industry to provide the best solutions in the market. Looking at the total market, it's estimated to, this was from S&P, dated in August last year. Then S&P estimated that the total electrolyzer market would equate to some around 20 gigawatts in total in 25 and 26, or in excess of 50 billion Norwegian kroner. China is by far the largest market, but we still see now significant volumes. And I would like to sort of point out especially Europe with our cooperation with Andritz being maybe the most promising now very short term. But we definitely also see attractive market segments outside of Europe as well. Looking at our sales pipeline, it's large. We have a total pipeline of in excess of $11 billion, 177 projects. So we track this on a quarterly basis. This was what we provided with you when we did the Q4 presentation in late February. So it's the same here. It hasn't changed that much from the fourth quarter presentation to compared to the third quarter presentation, but the maturity of the projects has increased. So we see a larger likelihood, a better likelihood of projects actually materializing and reaching an FID. And that's why we also now are more pessimistic, more optimistic with regards to be awarded projects in 2025 than we were in early 2024. My last slide, just to give a brief financial update. So we ended the last quarter with 70 million in revenues, and the year with close to 200 million in revenues. The EBITDA in the fourth quarter was minus 44, and the year ended with EBITDA of minus 205. So we are still not in a profit-making environment. We still have some way to go, but I want to stress that we have a very strict capital discipline in place. And also this P&L reflects that we have delivered on some projects that are not necessarily with the highest margins. We are looking into, of course, increasing now the margins, and not the least also increasing the volumes. And our target is to be break even be among the first players in the industry that are break even or are generating money. And I think we have a very good setup with a focused offering, lean operation, and not the least also a very competitive supply chain cost.
All right. Thank you, Martin. You mentioned that you're involved in 2 of the world's 10 largest projects in this sector. That's very impressive.
Yeah, as I can say, I joined the company 4 years ago. I was employee number 11, and now we're here delivering to 2 of the 10 largest projects globally.
Yeah.
And that couldn't be, we couldn't have done that without a lot of competent people in the company.
Yeah.
We have a lot of competent people, and I think we have done a lot of, call it, the right choices with regards to a focused strategy on the technology that actually works. We're not developing a new solution, and I think that's a key message to bring across here. We deliver safe and reliable technology.
Right. And on top of that, you managed to secure some really strong industrial backers like Mitsubishi. I assume they contribute beyond capital with access and credibility and their network?
Yeah, definitely. We see both, at least Mitsubishi and then also Andritz are developing with the end users, developing projects in the global green hydrogen space. Because I think also our partners see the long-term view here. Yeah. They don't I think, to be fair, blue hydrogen, of course, you see several carbon capture projects now coming up, but we see that as a more of a short-term transition phase. Right. And I think with our partners, they see the longer haul. And fair to say as well, when you invest in an electrolyzer or a green hydrogen project, then you should take on 25, 30 years plus perspective. So then to invest short term, does that make sense with the current pricing you see with the development of renewable energy and then the related reduction in electricity cost? We think it makes sense then to swap to then green hydrogen today. Right.
Because I guess a lot of people that are watching this too have seen that there's a lot of the green energy companies that had a rough time in terms of valuations on the stock markets and so on. But perhaps your point of view then, or the point of view of your current investors, are that's an opportunity to come in at low valuations, because this is a transition that's still going to happen long term.
Yeah. No, you're right. And I think also a key comment to make is that HydrogenPro, we deliver large-scale projects. So you should not expect us to publish stock exchange notices with smaller projects.
Right.
So it's better then to invest in the share and then wait for the large projects to actually be awarded, than to try to time it, because we are not like we do not deliver small projects, meaning that we also will, when we deliver, larger projects, it has a significant impact to the company.
Right.
Yeah.
Because even in this market environment then, in December of last year, 2024, you succeeded in setting a private placement of 70 million Norwegian crowns at a premium valuation of 22%. How was that possible?
No, I think with our strategic partners, so you mentioned the 70, so it was the 70 plus then the 70 now coming from LONGi at the same pricing, and as you mentioned, 22% premium. That tells you that our partners who are involved in this industry see a different value on us than the current segment, market segment.
Environment, yeah.
Yeah.
And the green hydrogen market is expected to grow in the coming years and decades. What do you see as the key drivers of that growth?
Yeah, I think first of all, we need to be cost competitive.
towards other forms of energy.
Yeah,
Or,
call it with fossil industry. I think that's sort of the major. But of course, we do sort of see the market today. There needs some need for public schemes and grants to get to sort of with both the stick and the carrot to get us there. But longer term, we see sort of that the overall trend with all investments in renewable energy will get us there.
Yeah.
But we see also now, again, as I said, I think we're more mature players in this industry on the end user side, meaning that they have the financial backing as well to actually materialize the projects, and that's a key enabler.
All right.
Yes.
We've almost run out of time. One last question that I ask all the speakers here today. So what are some of the short-term triggers or events for investors to look out for when it comes to your company here in the short term, near term?
New contracts. Hopefully we'll get it soon. We announced the project or the engineering study with Anders last week, and we have to have new contracts. But on top of that, our focus also on technology and validation, we will keep the market informed as well on our development on that page.
Okay, great. Thank you, Martin.